Glay, you there? Oh, hold on. It might be me. Hold on. It might not be you. Let me make sure.
As y'all can see, I'm in a great mood. Back in Miami. Glay looking like, we lost him. All right, so I'm going to try to get the TV going in the background. Y'all know we like to put something on the TV in the background. Why am I out of focus? As you can see, I'm back in the actual studio, so always good to get back down to Miami, tap in with y'all from the studio. We got a lot to talk about today. So we got a little bit of Nick that we're catching up from yesterday. I want to review something. Hold on. Let me get watch the focus come in. There you go. All right, so I want to review a couple things that Nick said. I got a couple. I actually found this dope video. Let me turn this music off. I found this dope video that, in my opinion, shows exactly why Jewish people are successful. And I rock with it. Y'all may be a little bit surprised, but we're going to get into that. And then I want to finally get into this Anthony Fauci video because it's not even a video. It's a discussion that Patrick Bet-David was having with a guest of his, discussing Anthony Fauci, why he was put in front of us as the expert in an area that he doesn't even study or didn't take a fellowship in. So we got a few things. DK, I see him in the back trying to get stuff together. Oh, was I not talking that whole time? Y'all heard me that whole time, right? I don't know. Y'all know sometimes when we go back to Miami, the mojo's a little bit off, but we should be good to go. Y'all let us know. What did they say? Give us a thumbs up in the chat. Give us a thumbs up in the chat. Shout out to Critical in the building early. Shout out to Critical. Hold up. We got some Nick Fuentes. We got some Nick Fuentes information. Nick Fuentes is reportedly single and described himself as a proud incel. So you know what I'm about to go do. I got to look up exactly what an incel is because I've heard that term, but I don't want to misspeak and sound ignorant to y'all. Incel definition. Okay, so a member of an online community of young men who consider themselves unable to attract women sexually, typically associated with views that are hostile toward women and men who are sexually active. I don't know if he's identified as that, bruh. I don't know. I wouldn't say that. What I've heard him talk about when it comes to women is that women tend to be a distraction, and the fight that he's fighting based on his purpose, and obviously he's doing a little bit more than I would say than most of us when it comes to being locked in and on his path. And the things that I've heard him say is that he just doesn't either have time, and he said that almost it would be putting them at risk. You know, how's he going to date somebody? He said his inbox is flooded. That's what he said. Critical. You gotta take it or leave it. I find it hard to believe that it wouldn't be. I mean, I don't think that he would have an issue. I know there were some rumors floating around. Maybe he may not be interested, but I can't see that wouldn't be the case where girls would just wouldn't be throwing themselves at a Nick Fuentes. I mean, look at the guy. You know what I'm saying? You don't think so, Critical? Another term for oh man, come on, Critical. There's some, see, hold up. I think we've tapped into something because Critical seems to be very triggered by Nick Fuentes. Critical, tell us what your real issue with Nick is.
Yeah, she been like that all week.
That gets me going the way that Nick Fuentes seems to get Critical going. And I think he does that with a whole lot of people, especially people that are over the age of 30. So what I want to know, what about it that just bothers him? And maybe for some other people tapping in as well. I actually did a video. I don't know what's going on, Glay.
Oh, I'm back.
You back? I think mine went out for a sec. Okay. But I actually am interested in that. And I did a video on him yesterday where he was calling Donald Trump out for the whole Somali conversation.
Yeah.
You saw that?
Yeah, when you fall asleep and shit.
Yeah, so Nick Fuentes was calling, I can't even say Nick was calling him out. Nick actually liked the fact that he was saying the stuff about the Somalians.
I did see that. I saw you. You was up at like 2, 3 o'clock. I seen it.
Yeah, I was up late night because I was traveling yesterday, so I was putting that together. And the thing, and I actually had to record it twice because the first time I recorded my whole reaction and realized that I was on mute. So at like 11:30, I had to re-record the entire response, bro.
That was like a 3-hour joint.
I was sick. Yeah. So then, so all right, so neither here nor there. So Nick was calling out Donald Trump, or not calling. I keep saying calling out because I was calling them both out. But Nick was saying that Donald Trump will sometimes just pander to his audience when he feels that they're not behind him as much, or he's not delivering on certain promises, policies that he said that he would deliver on. And Nick was calling this out. And it kind of brought me down a rabbit hole with the whole Wang half conversation and why white people, in particular, the ones that are following Nick Fuentes, seem to be so infatuated with this N-word. And Nick was saying he was going back and forth with Trump, and then he was talking about Tucker, how Tucker, I don't know if you recently saw that Tucker went on a rant where he was saying FAGGOT and the TARD. I think that's how you spell it. Yeah. So he was saying like, yo, if you really want to take a stance on free speech and pushing against censorship, then why not just say the N-word? Why not just go up there and just say the N-word if you really want to stand on free speech? So it got me thinking, similar to the conversation that you and I always have, where it's like, it seems like people's energy towards black and brown people is a bit different than the energy towards the people that are actually bullying them in their face. Mm-hmm. I said, Nick, my response was talking to Nick, and I'm like, bro, if you really want to take a stance, why just say the N-word? How come I don't ever hear you saying any derogatory slurs towards Jewish people, for instance? You seem to say that that's the biggest problem. We're getting ready to show a video where Nick's talking about Islam, and he's saying that he believes that them trying to fearmonger Americans with the whole Islam talk, acting as if they're getting ready to take over the country, is just a distraction. And he thinks that Jewish people are actually the priority of our issues when it comes to them controlling our politicians and government. Mm-hmm. So if that's, you really want to stand on something, why punch down on black people? Why address the very people that are not a threat, that have cultural issues like a lot of us have talked about well before you and will talk about until they're done, regardless of our interactions with you. But why make the slur about black people? If you really want to shake something up, why not go against the people that claim that everything's anti-Semitic, that have an entire organization, the ADL, just meant for canceling people that say things about Jewish people that they don't like? So instead of that Wang half t-shirt, because white people have been saying nigga for hundreds of years. You ain't doing nothing different. Yeah. So keep saying it. It's not a big deal. But my question is, why is that so appealing? Why is it so appealing to, it's like getting excited about the team that we're going to beat. It's like nobody's really getting amped that we're about to play VMI compared to the same energy against Villanova. Have that energy against Villanova, who we haven't beaten. Yeah. Keeps bullying us. That's how I felt about it. I'm just sitting here like all this energy, whether you're talking about the Muslim people, Dearborn, Michigan, the Somalians, you're talking about black people when you keep saying the N-word and you act as if, oh, I'm just saying it to, address free speech. Where's that energy towards Jewish people? I never see it. Black people are not the reason why Trump is continuing to give money to Israel. Black people aren't the reason why why all these migrants came over here, which you got 10 million migrants or whatever came in when they opened the borders. Black people are not the problem or not to blame for any of Nick Fuentes' problems that he talks about. It's solely Jewish people, according to him. But yet he's only putting out a t-shirt that is offending black people.
Hey, you look like you just unlocked a new level with this one.
I'm just trying to figure it out because y'all, I'm not with the victim shit. I'm not with any of the victim stuff, bro. You say what you want. You wear whatever t-shirt you want around whoever you want, and you deal with whatever comes your way based on whatever their energy is. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You may be able to get away with wearing it with me. I may not say. I hope I don't say. I'm not going to say anything. But you may come across somebody that does. Mm-hmm. So that's on you. But my question is, why allow people? And this was the conversation with it was actually getting into a whole bunch of different areas about like the founders, like some of the founders of the NAACP, they were Jewish. So it was getting into a conversation about that. Yeah. And they were talking about how different powers that be have always pitted black and white people against each other. So we'll be fighting, each other in a country, thinking that we're each other's problems, when in all actuality, we're both at the lower end of the scale when it comes to being successful in America compared to a lot of these other ethnic groups from America. So if you're aware of those things, then why continue to play into it? And this is another thing that we've talked about before. Whenever the Mark Levin and all these people want to call out anti-Semitism and get people to it's almost like to solidify this person being racist. To solidify this person being racist, I gotta say that, oh, they said the N-word. Why not show me the slurs of Nick talking about the Jewish people? Show me the slurs of Nick talking about anybody outside of brown and black people. Show me the slurs of Nick coming at the people that are actually causing the problems and creating a lot of these issues that he discusses on a day-to-day basis. Show me those slurs. All I seem to see is slurs on black and brown people, people that have no power, people that he's punching down when he's addressing, have that energy towards the Jewish people. Everybody seems to be real scared and fearful of the Jewish people. So when I see a tweet from Elon Musk and he says that, I don't know if you saw the tweet where he was like, actually, Jewish people are white. Jewish people are white. Matter of fact, they're peak white. And I was talking to Maya, and Maya was saying how she thought that Elon, when he wrote, and I should bring up the tweet. Hold on. Let me bring up this tweet real quick, but I'll talk while I'm doing it. She was saying that Elon must be trying to get back in the good graces of Jewish people. And what's funny about it is I read it a totally different way. Like and I'm going to show y'all, hold on. Elon Musk, Jews are white. Let me try to find it. But I read it a totally different way. And I kind of want to pull it up on the screen before I'll tell you. So I read it a different way. When he wrote Jews are not white, or Jews are white, if not peak white, I thought Jewish people would be upset about that. And maybe that's just because the conversations that we have on a regular basis, because I read that as Jews are Europeans. So if Jews are white and peak white and Jews are Europeans, then what are we talking about as far as that region and people having a claim to the land in that region? When I saw Elon write that, I'm like, oh, why Jewish people aren't going to like this? Their entire claim to the genocide, to the ethnic cleansing that they're committing right now in Palestine, to all the things that they've done in that Middle Eastern region, their entire claim to being able to do those things and justification for it is the fact that the scriptures say that they were the people there that occupied that land thousands of years ago. So if Elon's saying, nah, they just some white folk, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. So when he wrote that, I didn't think that they would like it, but I guess we'll just have to see.
A little pick and choose, right?
Yeah. I don't like that. That gives me bullying vibes. I don't like the whole bullying energy when you're only willing to bully people smaller than you. Go bully the big guy.
Yeah. Had that energy. I do find it interesting that you do say like the topics are typically towards the Jewish people, et cetera, and they're the big issue, and our allegiance as America. But then we're selling a shirt that says Wang have.
Yeah, what are you trying to prove? Like if black people have no power in America, no realized power, I'll say. So what's the point? Like, who do you think you're offending? Because he's pretty much saying that I'm offending I'm being offensive to tear down censorship and to stand up for free speech. So if that's the case, then make it real controversial.
Yeah, like
stand up against the actual powers. Yeah, you putting on a shirt, nobody cares about that, bro.
Yeah, not even black.
Yeah. Matter of fact, for all the white people that follow Nick Fuentes and are intrigued by him always saying the N-word, my question to you would be like, yo, did you grow up competing in sports? Did you grow up competing in sports? And the reason why I say that is because why do you feel such a fascination? Why do you feel that self-esteem? Why do you feel empowered by saying the N-word and punching down on black people? How do you feel empowered? I'm just wondering, because there's a whole lot of other people that seem to be bullying y'all and taking advantage of y'all. Trump, you out here getting embarrassed in front of the world, got America looking real bad. You out here putting ceasefires together bragging about them. And then the next day, before you even wake up, BB sending missiles, violating your ceasefire, laughing about it.
Right.
You got JD Vance. Trump comes out and says, yeah, we're not going to allow Israel to annex the West Bank. JD Vance goes over there to visit. They vote while he's there. Their government votes while he's there and to annex the West Bank. Like, you're just getting violated and violated. And perhaps that's why Putin is looking at you the way that he's looking at you now, which is probably like, man, ain't nobody worried about the U.S. Now you're going to go pick on another brown nation, go pick on Venezuela to go try to get their oil reserves to continue the colonization of the Greater America Project. Like, what are we doing? Matter of fact, let me show you this clip.
You hit the shower? I mean,
I'm fresh out the shower, bro. I was in the shower I was in the shower probably at 7:40 or 7:45. So I'm like, the eyes are wide. You feel me? All right, so let's get to this video real quick, and then and shout out to everybody tapping in. I know we didn't address so many of the comments, but we keeping them posted, and y'all, even if we don't address the comments, we really do appreciate it because y'all have y'all own conversation in the chat, and it's a dope little vibe. All right, so let's get to this video that I told y'all. I found out why Jewish people are so successful. I think I messed it up when I went to look for that. Elon had it all queued up. Give me a sec. All right, I got it right here.
Yeah.
Take a look at this. Take a look at this.
People, even though it's in the singular form. So I'm going to answer the question. Isaiah is very clearly talking about the Jewish people, even though it's in the singular form. So I'm going to answer the question.
Please.
Messiah has not come yet because none of the signs have really happened yet, and it could be that I believe we're in the birth pangs, which is why the world is so chaotic. But I would say almost none of the messianic prophecies have come true.
The Isaiah 53 passage is very clearly talking about a Messiah. I don't think that Israel can atone itself. Obviously, as we've already discussed, Israel is a stiff-necked nation. They've fallen into idolatry many times, and like Majida so eloquently pointed out earlier, they murder their prophets. And so I don't necessarily know that you guys would recognize the Messiah even if there was a Messiah, because the pattern is killing any prophet that says not to do a certain
We killed
thing.
Moses?
You murder your I didn't say all of your prophets.
You just said all of your prophets.
Okay, let me clarify. You murder your prophets.
You just said all of your
Please
prophets.
stop cutting me off.
That's not true.
I'm communicating.
That's not true.
Okay, so you can respond to me, but don't cut me off.
Just said something not
you
true
can
with all due
respond
respect.
to me when I'm done.
Okay, all right.
We don't murder all of our prophets.
No, stop cutting me off.
She can rephrase it. She can.
That's all I asked. I'm not fighting with her. We don't kill all of our prophets.
Okay. She spoke in error, and now she's going to rephrase
Thank
it.
you.
So.
You guys murder a lot of your prophets. So if there were a Messiah, I'm not sure that you would necessarily have the ability to know who that Messiah is. That is the primary point. And I think that there are many prophecies throughout the scriptures that have been, such as the virgin birth, such as Jesus getting on a donkey and riding into Jerusalem, the destruction of the temple, his life, death, and resurrection. You guys can debate about the resurrection, but we have an empty tomb. So it's like, where's the body?
We're not waiting for anyone to come and perfect the world. We want to perfect the world ourselves. Like I said before, we do not believe in a savior that will save us. We believe in saving ourselves, and we earn Messiah.
I'm sorry, I played it that long, but I had to stop it right there. We become our own messiahs. I'm gonna be real. This is why I've been attracted. See, before all this October 7th stuff happened, BK, you know that I was actually more familiar and more around a lot of Jewish people than perhaps anybody else, Christians and Muslims, when it comes to like mentorship, I'll say. Like a lot of these people that were mentoring me, a lot of them were Jewish. I just put up on my story, like there was I remember when I went out to Brooklyn to interview like this real popular rabbi, Manis Friedman. And I was that's just the people that I was around. And I always got a sense with their books, everything was about empowering self. Everything was about doing for self and not waiting for anybody else to do for you, not waiting for a Messiah to come back to actually fix things. And this is the urgency when it comes to religion, that this is what we complain about when it comes to Christianity. This is what we complain about. People believing that Jesus is going to do something for you that Jesus already gave us everything. What else does God or Jesus have to give us in order for us to succeed? Like, what do we need? What are we waiting on? While everybody else is sitting around playing the waiting game, Jewish people have understood that, oh, no, I need to do for self. I'm going to become my own Messiah. I'm going to become my own savior. And to me, that's, hey, you like it or love it, but you should recognize what's working and what's winning in this world. Now, you may do it differently when you get in power, or you may want to do it differently to gain that power or to win, or whatever you dictate as success for you may look differently. But from that standpoint, when I heard that line, it made everything make sense. You tell me if it hit the same for you.
It's fascinating. It's fascinating how everybody got into the locker room and they on the same page. I don't know what they did at halftime. I don't know what they did in walkthroughs, but they got the plan. Now, ethical, unethical, agree, disagree, like you said, the plan is the plan. And they've been sticking to it through thick and thin. And it seems as if everybody just been complaining from the sidelines. But like you said, ain't nobody going to address it. Ain't nobody going to stand on no business. So it's just they moving how they, they moving how they want to move. Period. And they got the whole locker room on board.
Do you think that this mindset is enough to be the difference in a group that has significant success, power, whatever you want to call it, and other groups? Like, the reason why I'm saying it is, if you tell a kid, or if we tell ourselves that we are going to be responsible for our own success, nobody else is going to determine it but us. And not only that, because there's two sides to it. It's one, you're the person that creates your own success on one end. And the other side is we become our own messiahs. That light that we all talk about, it's within us. So those are two separate things. And when you combine those two things, it makes a lot of sense why they would be successful, why they would be more purposeful, why they would be more intentional when it comes to uniting as a family, uniting as a tribe. Think about it. Those two things. One, I'm going to uplift your confidence and tell you, yo, everything that you read about these prophets, these messiahs, yeah, you got that in you too. And the other side is saying things only move when you move them. And you can't wait for anybody to do for you if you want something done. So you combine those two things and you get success. As far as, I'm not talking about Christianity overall. Your Christian experience may be different. Everybody's Christian experience is different. But I know that when I go to the church, and when I've gone to the church, it comes across the things that are being discussed. It comes across in a way where we're waiting for Jesus to come back and save us. So to me, that's a very different way of approaching life, a very different way of approaching spirituality and just accomplishing things in this world. And to me, it makes a lot of sense when I look around why our government would be being controlled by the people that have that mindset compared to the people that are waiting around for something to happen. Hey, I know we talk a lot about that chosen people term. The people that do for self, the people that embrace those two things that I'm talking about, in my opinion, that's the chosen person. But you decide that. And another thing that she discussed, she said, no, we earned that Messiah. You earned that. So while everybody that practices Christianity, or a lot of people, at least the culture that I grew up watching Christianity, when it's teaching you almost as if God and Jesus are a standard that we'll never get to. You know, it's like, oh my God, you can never even consider yourself. Oh my God, you're trying to hold yourself to the same standard as Jesus? Like, you're trying to see yourself in that light? Yes, absolutely. That's exactly what light I'm trying to see myself in. No different than a little kid growing up who wants to go to the NBA, and how I grew up with Michael Jordan posters. Yes, absolutely. That's the whole point of me putting all these posters in my room. That's the visualization process. I want to see myself in that position. So with their mindset being totally different, no wonder that they run stuff. No wonder they run stuff. They're saying, yo, The goal is for me to become my own prophet, my own Messiah. The goal is for me to shake things up myself, not wait for somebody to come back and us just sit around and just wait, not knowing when they're going to come back, not knowing all these things. You got one side believing in the tooth fairy, the other side understanding the whole process and understanding and embracing the fact, or matter of fact, you got one side believing in Santa Claus, while the other side is saying, nah, let me teach you how to work so you can provide these gifts to yourself, to your community, not just on Christmas. And no Santa Claus, no make-believe up character worked for it. No, we worked for this. We came together as a community, united. We make sure that we circulate our dollars in the community so we can have this life. It's a totally different approach. If you teach two kids, two babies, two adolescents, those things, and you raise them up differently, or you raise one up embracing this, what she said, and one embracing what we typically embrace when it comes to Christianity, who do we think is going to be successful? If you use that same logic with sports, who would be successful?
Gleg, I have a great clip about what we're talking about this. Click on, if you're on Twitter, go to put B Simone talk with God or something like that. Talk with Jesus or something like that. She's been in the media as of yesterday because she said, I'd rather take $1 trillion than to have 10 minutes with Jesus Christ.
Oh, yeah. Hold on. I got it right here. You want me to play it? Oh, my phone. Go ahead. Explain it, and then I'll play it.
Yeah. And then so she's been getting a ton of backlash. And we probably won't need to see the whole clip, but she's been trending all over the tabloids, all over different websites, et cetera. And it's almost as if when she speaks like the people that you're talking about, when she says he's given me everything that I need, look at the crowd of Christians around her that believe in what she believes in. They're like, no, you don't need to be like that. But then it's like we're watching a clip of somebody who believes in their belief system, and look how it sounds polar opposite. But nobody is challenging her wanting to be like that. So it just shows you the difference.
Yeah. How we look at these things, like our perspective says or determines so much how we look at religion. Our perspective determines so much. So I wanted to, let me highlight this comment real quick. Hold on. Let me highlight. Did you see that comment by Critical? Okay.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So, and perhaps this is to your point that you were making as well, BK, like this kind of discussion around this. But it says, so Critical wrote, and I saw you right after this, Critical, that you're not even religious. So definitely I'll add that context as well. But he wrote the Bible verse, 1 John 2:22 states, who is the liar but the one who denies that Jesus is the Christ? This is the Antichrist, the one who denies the Father and the Son. Maya keeps telling me that when I talk about Christianity, that's the only way that I'm gonna lose some followers, subscribers.
I got it.
Critical. Seems very convenient. If you're trying to control a group of people, that you would tell them to believe in what you want them to believe in, and only that, rather than to tell them that they can believe in themselves and uplift themselves. These are a lot of the issues that I have, and it's really more of an interpretation based on what I've explored just on my own. That's my opinion. It's more of an interpretation of how we see the Bible. People read the Bible and come away with totally different things. And my opinion on it is that light is within us. If I believe that Jesus is God, if I believe that we all come from God, then I believe that that's within me. So therefore, if you have somebody that believes that Jesus is within them and that they need to bring it out themselves, then don't you think that would be a positive thing compared to Jesus being so external? Like, imagine if the majority of us looked internal when it came to a whole bunch of things, as far as the things we're responsible for, the things that we contribute to. Would we be better off looking externally or internally? So you can quote, the Bible, you can, have the different scriptures and stuff. For me, it's going to be It doesn't matter who wrote the book. Doesn't matter what book you give me. I'm just exercising some common sense here as far as how I see the world. Now, this may be different for everybody. That's cool. But the way that I look at it is that God is within us. That's a light within us, that we decide how much we're going to tap into our potential and bring that godly nature out of us. I don't believe in who is the liar but the one who denies that Jesus is the Christ. Look, it's almost, what is the Christ? I don't even know what that is. Like, what is the Christ? The Christ is the truth, right? So let's say that Jesus is the truth. If Jesus is the Christ and Christ represents truth and Jesus is the truth, then don't I want to aspire to be like Jesus? Don't I want to aspire to bring that out of me? Don't I want to aspire to be as much like Jesus as possible, to stand on business how Jesus stood on business, to stand against the religious powers that may be presented to me at the time? Isn't that what being Christ-like, being godly, like, isn't that the goal? So why would I not strive to be like this is, religion seems to be the only area of life that we look at things like this. It's like when you have any other mentor, when you have any other idol, when you have any other something that you're worshiping, something that you're appreciative of, something that's influencing you, that's helping you become more successful. The goal is to always look internally and do what I can do for myself and build myself, right? Have these people that are in my life who are helping me build myself to do what? To climb the ranks, not to rely on other people, not to rely on other influences to build me up, but for me to build myself. Like, isn't that how we look at any life in any other area? So I'm just wondering, why do we look at religion any differently? Like, why is it offensive now? This is the Antichrist. So you tell me which is the Antichrist. The person that believes that they are their own, that they have the light within them, they're the Antichrist, compared to the person that believes that, oh no, I got to wait for somebody else to do it, because Jesus didn't wait for somebody else to do it. He actually got on the cross himself. So you're telling me the Antichrist is somebody that behaves like Jesus would, compared to somebody else that's waiting around and hoping that things are going to change by some external force that's outside of them? It's very hard for me to look at the world like that. It's very hard for me to look at the world like that. Oh, hold on. We got Bez and Leslie, two of my favorites in the building. Shout out to Mama Lay. Perhaps God should be called source or creator. Perhaps. And it's Bez always comes with. So he said, God created nothing. Yo, this is, you know what I always struggle between when we're having these religious conversations? It's like, how do you lose because think about on a football team. On a football team, like if you're the leader of the team, let me bring this off the screen. It's like you can lead a few different ways. I may be able to go to you, BK, and be like, yo, do your job. Like, just do your job, bro. Show up, do your job. That's your commitment to the team. Figure your shit out. You know what I mean? I may be able to talk to you like that. Mm-hmm. For somebody else, I may have to, like, hey, man, like you don't like. So I always struggle into like, what is the goal? Is the goal for me to just hit people with truth or hit people with something, in my opinion, as strong as I can? And you and I have had this conversation, BK. Yeah. Or is the goal for me to try to meet people where they are? Or is the goal for me to be right and stand up here and say, y'all, da, 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 da? Or is the goal for me to meet people where they are and try to like help them? Like I would want somebody's always helping me. Like I think we should be a mentor and a mentee at the same time. So it's like, is the goal for like, do I want my mentor to just now for me, I actually would prefer this style. Like, just tell me what it is. Don't sugarcoat anything. Tell me what it is. If I'm messing up, I'd rather you go overboard in your constructive criticism of me, or however you give the criticism, I'm going to take it as constructive criticism. Mm-hmm. So I'd rather you just be upfront, real, and raw when it comes to that advice. Yeah. Other people can't handle that. Mm-hmm. Other people, when you tell them certain things and you're very direct, they're like, oh, you're being mean, like you're being offensive. Well, why you got to say it like that? What you mean? Like, I actually appreciate when people could tell me something directly, straightforward, cool. Cool. Now, even if it bothers me a little bit where I can feel it like, where I want to respond, where I want to push back. No, like you have to just accept the criticism. So when it comes to a lot of these conversations around Christianity, it's like, do you completely, like, do I turn people off completely, or do I just say so? But when Bez writes, you know, God created everything, and then I'm looking at Mama Lay's comment, perhaps God should be called the source of creation. I don't even care. Like the all the names and stuff, that's for other people. I don't care. I'm just here. I don't care how I got here. I'm in the game. Like, I'm not sitting here wondering, like, well, shoot, how did this get? I just want to spend my time on other things, and people do get caught up with that. That's the balance of me going back and forth. So, Mama Lay, I definitely feel you, but I'm always trying to adjust to who I'm trying to communicate with, rather than to just make it or express certain things in a way that I would accept. You know what I mean? Or I would be cool with. And when you talk about, you know, God created nothing when it comes to Bez, I understand exactly what Bez is saying. I understand, like, if you actually remove God and just put it on yourself, if you remove God from the equation, now let's just do an exercise. If you remove God from the equation, if instead of, you know, every night that you're praying to God, that you were praying to the universe, praying to uplift yourself, if you remove God from those prayers, and there wasn't anybody else that you could rely on but you in this world, do you think there would be a sense of urgency? When we know that we have a crutch, what do we tend to do? When we know that, oh, we got a little bit of a cushion, compared to when it's crunch time and things are on the line, what do? We have an added level of urgency. We're more proactive rather than reactive. Oh, I feel like, oh, now that the doctor told you that, oh, you got high blood pressure, and, you know, you could have a stroke, or you could develop diabetes, whatever your doctor tells you, hey, you're developing early stage signs of cancer. Now you want to eat healthy. Now you want to exercise. Now you want to do all these things. So that's, to me, when you put everything on you, there's just more of an urgency, but maybe that's the wrong way of looking at stuff.
No, I mean, I think regardless of where you stand, I'm speaking this like not where my position, but it's like, regardless of where you stand, these are legitimate conversations that could be had. And you're right, it just gets so difficult to further our innovation or our education with what religion is or what it could be, because we just, the ones that are on the side of full faith and belief struggle having the conversation when it doesn't necessarily meet them where they want to be met. And perhaps a lot of people's faith comes from never having these conversations. That's why the faith exists to begin with. So the first time that they're having this simple dialogue when it comes to these certain topics or procedures, they've never seen this before. And so it always comes off as, oh, you're not a believer, or that's not the real, like, we're all like, I'm always seeing comments, period, across the board. It's like, we're always getting into the semantics of what it is. Oh, well, that's not the real Christian, or, well, that's not the relationship. Well, God, it's just like, guys, I just want you to pay attention to how there are 500 believers and there are 500 opinions of what to believe in and how to believe in it properly. Oh, that's not the real God. Well, guys, we got to do a better job. I think we need to have some level of cohesiveness, because what I am seeing is, when you're speaking of people that the Jewish people and how they believe, it's one accord. What Nick Cannon said, one sound, what is it?
One band, one sound.
One man, one sound. It sounds
one band. I think.
Okay,
yeah.
That's what it sounds like. It sounds like one band, one sound. I'm not getting a multiple, whatever our opinions. I'm not getting multiple reasons, or that's not the real Israeli. That's not the real Jewish person, or that's not the real believer. I'm never seeing that in anybody's belief other than Christianity in that space. So it's just like, I'm just saying, guys, we look unprepared at halftime. Whatever you're believing in, however you're believing in it, if we're supposed to get all 11 players on the same page so that we can truly have a shot here of doing what we need to do, I suggest we go back to the drawing board and realize it ain't working. We're missing out on people. People are saying, nah, I'm good. I'm going to just go believe in whatever the hell I'm going to believe in. Or, nah, that sounds like a fairy tale. Like, okay, we need to go back to the drawing board, guys, because our recruiting, we're not getting anybody. Nobody's Nobody new is coming in the door anymore. They don't want to be here. And so I challenge us to stop saying what you do and what you think and start positioning us. Well, how do we get together and become hosts on the same page so that this can be as beneficial as we say it is? It's like we want to ignore how it's resonating with the people that we're asking to believe in what we're believing in.
Mm-hmm.
So for the 10 minutes that you were going in, you was in your bag the whole way. But what I like about it is like I'm also in a space where I want to hear more. I want to hear what Dak is saying. These are real life responses, real life opinions, real life perspective. But it's like anytime we talking to somebody else who is fully immersed and fully believes, somebody throws a scripture at us. You know, so it's just we want it. Like we're very intrigued. We respect a religion. We don't even care about the semantics. People get so caught up in trying to prove to us as if like we're not against it. We're just trying to see the alignment, and we're consulting it.
Is it working? Is it working for you?
Yeah, we're just trying to say, oh, just to give you a heads up, like I'm just saying, like this sounds this, and maybe that's why people are running away from here, or maybe this is why it's so difficult to get them to believe, or maybe you notice like the older you get, it's more difficult for you to believe, or that's when people are walking away from the church, or it's like, all right, guys, we're just trying to take an approach so that this can last longer. Because we've also seen, and stop ignoring it, we've also seen people take advantage of this. We see them utilize this. You always bring up the certain scriptures in the Second Testament. Guys, we're just saying, pay attention here. Y'all acting like y'all don't see the history. People have used it incorrectly. Stop saying, well, that ain't me. It don't matter about you. Stop talking about how you believe in it. Start talking about how everybody need to be believing in it and how. And you're not going to scripture them to death. Because the same way you feel compelled and passionate of why you should stand and believe on that, there are people that have another side or perspective. They've done their research, or it's going to impact them differently. Do you know how to get somebody to stop believing in God? I'm going to show you how simple it is. That somebody who prays to God, who feels like they're fulfilling all the commandments they believe, and something tremendously bad happens to them.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as a mom dies, as soon as the dad dies,
mm-hmm.
as soon as they lose something, all of a sudden, all faith out the fucking window.
Mm-hmm.
Immediately. Something they believed in since they were a kid. Let one parent disappear. All of a sudden, they question, who is this person then?
Mm-hmm.
Guys, we can't, that ain't the structure. I'm just telling you. And you're not going to be able to scripture it back. You're not going to be able to pull them back in. Well, look at this and look at this. It's like, nah. See, now we're in the space of emotions and feelings. You can't scripture that to death no more. This isn't a real life experience. So now their experience is different than your experience, but you're saying, well, I believe because of my experience, but you don't care why they don't believe because of their experience. So now you've lost another person that could be a catalyst or supporting system for what you believe in, because you're so concerned about how you believe in it, but you no longer care about the people that were once believers and why they don't believe in it. It's a conversation that needs to be had, and we're not leaving it the same way, bro. We just can't leave it like that, because it's not going to exist, and it's constantly going to be led by people that will manipulate people, take over, enslave, and they will keep using it and doing it in this space unless the people that are truly believing sit down and have these conversations and understand how the hell you feel about it ain't more important than the mission. Mm-hmm. Than the program, than the system. I don't care that you believe. Be concerned about that. We need other people to believe too. I don't care about your personal relationship with God. It's also about the others too. So it's a team effort, but every time somebody always saying a single-handedly, like one perspective, and it changes that locker room feel. Like, damn, we feeling like, but when we watch these clips with these from people from Israel, one thing I know, nobody sounds different. Everybody from old to young to one signing bombs to everybody across the board says the same stuff. We them people. They pull up at halftime. We them niggas. How the hell did they pull that off? I don't think it's because they were ignoring these conversations. So, yeah.
And to your point, what you mentioned earlier, I wanted to highlight this comment. Shout out to El Relly. God is love and love is God. Simplicity yet almost impossible to comprehend. Shout out from Southern Italy. Shout out to you tapping in. And we definitely appreciate it. We really all over with it. I love that. And all right, so I've heard this said a lot, you know, God is love and love is God. And to me, when you talk about what you just said, as far as, you know, you can lose a parent or you lose somebody close to you, and that's when you start questioning things. And I think that that's built on us having certain expectations of God, of us only thinking that God is everything good is God. Yes. And our need to always make sense of everything, like our need to always make sense of everything leaves us vulnerable for people that then want to give us narratives as to why this happened. When you have people that are so obsessed with making sense of everything, so obsessed with connecting the dots, so obsessed with understanding this and that, you're running towards information so much that the information that's coming your way, you can't even decipher and filter out if it's actually beneficial for you, if it actually makes sense. So when we only associate God with positive things, good things, I don't see a lot of people when something bad happens in their life where they say, thank God, because they have that true trust and faith. I don't see a lot of that. What I see is people get on stage, win awards, and thank God, right? When something positive happens. So when you have something negative happen to you and you only associate God with being positive, and God is supposed to be the all-powerful being, what you probably see it as like, damn, like, did the devil win this one? You know, why would God allow this? Because you only associate good things with this person. So now when something negative happens, how can you handle it? Now when something that doesn't make sense to you, you start questioning things. Perhaps our standard and the way that we were looking at this thing from the beginning was just a bit off and a bit unrealistic. You know, so that's, but it's just very hard it's very hard. Like once somebody believes in something, they just believe it. Like there's not, like if you believe something, then it's very hard to get people to convince them, even whether you have facts, whatever you have, to get them to see things in a different way. Because when you believe in something, you rationalize it in whatever way you need to in order to justify believing in that. So I don't even want to take away from, I'm not trying to make people not believe in whatever it is that they believe, but what I'm trying to do is get us to embrace believing in ourselves, because I think that's what God would want to do. I'm pretty sure that God is the person that cares about the results, right? What are our actions? What are we actually doing in this world? So that's all on us. That's all the free will that we decide. So the more we embrace that the outcome of our lives will be based on the decisions that we make with our free will, doesn't that show that, hey, we should take on probably a little bit more responsibility and accountability in the outcome of our life, rather than just seeing it as something that, oh, this is like, I'm only here, I'm only human, you know, I'm not even in control of this. Like this is already written. No, it's not. Like I remember I tweeted that goofy, like I remember I tweeted that one time that, yo, it's already written. Like I was like, it was one of these goofy tweets where I said something like, I think it was a little rhyme, like, I ain't tripping, it's already written. No, it's not. Every day I'm getting up and I'm rewriting, revising, whatever, even if there was a plan for me. No, I'm determining with my actions what people eventually, when I pass on in this world, when they're eventually going to say like, oh, nah, he was always destined to do this. No, I wasn't. I decided to do it. Whatever it is, that's what I'm working on right now. So when I pass away, people could be like, oh, nah, like, yeah, he had something different in him. He was just destined for this. Like he was just built. That's what people who work very hard in a particular area, others tend to rationalize and justify why they became successful in it because, oh, they had some superpower or some control outside of just them. People really just do that to justify them being in their limited space, them selling themselves short. So now that person was just destined to have that. No, everything that we want, we can have if we're willing to work for it. If we are willing to work for it and embrace that it's 100% on us. Now, can God help us along with that process? Absolutely. I actually think God is that compounding energy that when we do good actions that are aligned with where we want to get to in this world, it gets rewarded. I see that as energy. But people can see it for whatever they want to see it as. I don't mind. I just want us to embrace our power and embrace our light more, because the only way that our light gets charged, in my opinion, is by embracing that we actually have that light. So that's just some thoughts on it.
Yeah, I was thinking about the yesterday. I remember vividly walking up the stairs yesterday and being like, imagine, and then you think about like kids, right? And like I think about like how much more advantageous it are our children, specifically me and you, will be, because we are so we're so involved in constantly growing in all avenues, political, personal, like it doesn't matter, and we constantly want to achieve more and more wisdom. So we're always reading history, we're always listening to the OGs, we're always around older, mentorship. We want to be mentors and mentees at the same time. Like, these are going to be great skills in almost like a book for your family. And I thought about it. I said, we're infatuated with that. And I said, that's awesome. I said, but damn, man, if you think about how long humanity has been on this fucking earth, and how some people are ridiculously successful because dad was in real estate and he knew the game. And you know, like when you have a dad in real estate, like it's so much easier for the kids to get in real estate. If you have a dad in music, it's so much easier to get in music, right? And I was walking up the stairs, I said, damn, like if every person in every generation made it personal to, regardless of where they ended up, to continue to pass the value in their experiences from the 100 years that they lived, and kept that vault and passed it down to their children or their family, not even their children, their family. Mm-hmm. And you kept passing it down. I said, how the fuck are we not all able to be successful? We've existed for too long for us not to know the answers for half the shit we trying to figure out. But it goes to show you, if one person in one generation doesn't take it personal to become the best version in all aspects of themselves, and pass down nothing but trauma and struggle and undeveloped behavior, and just not even wanting to be more and do more, and like you said, take control. All it takes is one fucking person in that family lineage to stop the development of your family tree. One person. Because we see how easy, if one person makes the cognizant decision to make it personal, how they can change the trajectory of a family forever. But because everybody doesn't make it personal, we have underdeveloped traditions that are passed down over and over. And it's like we've existed too long for parents to not know how to communicate about relationships. I take that personal, that our parents didn't know that maybe corporate wasn't the fucking way. I'm not giving the excuse, well, they didn't know. Nah. God gave you a feeling that I got right now, and I knew it wasn't it. You just ignored it, and you cost everybody behind you because of it. You didn't take it personal because there was nobody over your shoulder to tell you should have took it personal. Mm-hmm. But see, that's what happens when you start putting that belief system into something exterior. Look what happens. Complacency takes over. And all of a sudden, it's okay to just make it from A to Z. You put in your 100 years and you get out of here, and the next person got to figure it out, starting from ground zero. How do you exist a whole lifetime, and you're telling me your kids aren't guaranteed, not questionable, guaranteed a huge jump start if you just put in 100 years as a parent? How the F do your kids not automatically become better? Because we have underdeveloped people that are passing the torches down to the younger generation. They don't challenge conversation. They're not challenging politics. They're super complacent. They believe in the system. We've been around too long for the younger generation that we're about to see get yoked up here to keep saying, well, they gonna have to figure it the fuck out. You know how many times we've done this? We need everybody on the same page. If you are over a certain age, it is mandatory for you to have something to give the freshman class. When we graduated college, I took all my books. I had a stack of economics books. I went downstairs and passed it to my neighbor. James Johnson and Jared Walker, shout out to y'all. It was every answer I ever took, every test ever took, every study guide I ever took. I said, if you ever have any issues, just hit me, bro. But here's everything you're going to need. Boom. See ya. That was after 4 years of college. How the fuck is somebody just live for 70 years and you ain't got shit to pass down? You ain't got nothing to give us? Now we in here shifting and cutting through the woods, trying to figure it out. And where do we go? And how do we date? And who do we believe in? And what do we believe in? When do we believe in it? And who should we talk to? And who should we cut off? And when should we have kids? And how do we, bro, what? Are you kidding me? After 60, 50 years, you ain't got nothing to pass down to me but heartfelt trauma. No conversation, scared of confrontation, not standing on business. You have fear at this age? You know you leaving. Fuck you scared of. You know the clock's ticking. Fuck you crying from. That breaks my heart that all you gonna leave by isn't a shot. All you give them is a shot. You're not even willing to buy in and say, damn, your future is looking at you. They're the kids that's in college. Y'all not even taking it personal? So you went your whole life and never took none of this shit personal. Why the fuck we got to hear about this religion? Why we got to go do all this research and we'll spend 10 years of our lives, 5 years of our lives to learn about religion? Why the fuck somebody ain't telling us this shit? Why do we got to do all this history digging? Why the fuck y'all ain't giving us the answers? We only got 30 years. All y'all just gonna hoard the answers, take the study guides and go home and leave us? We don't know how to date. We don't know how to believe in nothing. Y'all left us nothing. We acting like we're just in barbarian times. Nobody's taking it fucking personal. That's what we're saying. That's what I'm seeing with the Jewish people. They take that shit personal. The books they leave behind for the kids, look where the kids going. They think they them. Go ask a bunch of Christians if they believe in their fucking selves. Nah, you doing too much. No, you aren't doing enough. Now look at me, stuck. I don't know what to believe in. I'm catching L's and all I can say, well, God did. Sounded like DJ Khaled. We're not teaching the right things we need to teach for generation to get up. And we're watching somebody doing it dead in our face. Look what these people have done in a little bit of time. So what's everybody else's excuse? Why did they figure out what's everybody else's excuse? They was given the same 24 hours we was. How the hell is we all on the other side of this? How? Nobody was sitting in class taking no notes. Everybody was concerned about their test. Nobody thought about shit. Look, I passed, but look, I'm gonna pass this shit down because I'm concerned about the cats behind me. Nobody took it personal. It's
I mean, look at that word that you're using, personal. Like that to me is an internal thing. Like that's me.
You're right.
That's seeing the world with that JFK energy. You know, ask not what my country can do for me, but what I can do for my country. Ask not what God can do for me, but what I can do for God, or what I can do to become, you know, that godly standard almost. Like that's how I'm looking at it. So, and for the parents, and I want to highlight, shout out to Corey in the building.
Oh, big Corey.
I want to highlight, shout out to Corey. Corey wrote, but the landscape changes and you have to adapt to current climate. For instance, owning land 100 years ago was the end all be all. Today, the internet is the land grab. And this is the thing for me, like, even as you were talking, BK, I'm 100% behind you. And for parents, like I'll tell just from I'm not a parent, so I can only talk from a, you know, son's perspective. There's certain things that if you don't know, then at least empower your kids to do their own research, empower your kids to grow up with a belief that they can accomplish anything in this world, that it doesn't matter if somebody goes against them, doesn't matter if they think something about religion or anything else in life. Nah, go ahead and explore that. Go for that. We supporting you. I understand exactly what you're saying. It's almost like, what's your purpose? Like, is your purpose more to have fun? Is your purpose to enjoy life? Or is your purpose, once you have kids, to do any and everything to put them in the best position to win? Now, I had that, so I understand how important that is. I'm being real with you. I had that. There was not a moment in my life that I woke up thinking that I was not in control of my destiny. Like, I always felt that. Now, we didn't always get all the answers, especially with a lot of this religious stuff. And that's why I'm glad that, my parents are willing to have these conversations now. But it's okay for us to challenge our parents and to tell them, like, yo, I'm not cool with this lack of, development. Like, why didn't we have these type of conversations? Why didn't we sit down at the dinner table that I fortunately had? You know what I mean? There's a lot of things that I think we should challenge our parents on. Because if we don't challenge our parents on them, then I don't think that we'll really hold ourselves accountable. We'll end up allowing ourselves the ability, when we have kids, to be doing the same thing and not take that as a responsibility. Like, you're right. You said with Jewish people, there's no fail. Because if one person fails, they really believe in that. A lot of times we say stuff like we're only as strong as our weakest link. No, they actually exhibit that. They actually show that based on the behavior. When you look at the investment in the development of their kids, and it's not even just the Jewish people, you look at a lot of these Asian cultures, they take the development of their kids very seriously. They sit down and do the homework with their kids. Mm-hmm. Them not knowing something is not an excuse for their kids to not know it. They'll learn with their kids as they're going. Mm-hmm. We don't have that. We don't have that. American culture overall, we don't have that. That's why we really are the only thing that makes us powerful is that we spend a whole lot of money. That's what makes America the greatest, the quote unquote greatest country in the world. Other than that, are our numbers the greatest? Is our dollar value the most? Like, what makes us the greatest country in the world? No, we're just the cool kids. We're just the cool kids. That's it. Other than that, we're not performing the way that a lot of these other cultures perform. That's why when they come to this country, they have a different level of urgency. They're coming to get something from this country. We move as if we're just trying to exist in this country, trying to have a nice house just because in this country. Our purposes are totally different. Our purposes are totally different, and I'm with you. And parents shouldn't hear anything that you're saying and be offended by it. And if you are offended by it, then perhaps that's just, one of those alerts that lets you know, like, yo, maybe this is something that you lacked in raising your kid, and it's not too late. You know what I'm saying? Even if it is too late, doesn't mean that you shouldn't be trying. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, I believe in learning with your kids. If there's something right now that you didn't do a good job in, helping to develop your kids, then why not lock in with your kid right now? Why not have those conversations? I admit, you grow up not equipped with understanding how to communicate in relationships, how to pick somebody in a relationship. These are just things that in most families are avoided, and we're not told, and we're growing up trying to figure this thing out on our own. Meanwhile, you got all these other cultures that we laugh at. Oh, they doing arranged marriages. Oh, they getting married at 20, 21, 22 years old. I know a lot of Jewish people that get married very early. And it's like, man, I would never get married at that age. Why? I'm trying to be out here. Like, I need to be doing my... And then we see the results of who wins in life. So it's just a different sense of purpose and urgency that probably is fueling what allows us to lack and slack off when it comes to developing our kids, but allows the Jewish people and other cultures, a lot of these Asian cultures, to take life more seriously and to win. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Maybe we just believe in the all-powerful God that will always have everything we need. And I don't know. Who knows? Oh, all right. So let's keep it. We may never get to this Fauci story, because now I got a couple other things that I want to show you. Okay. Since it's like you try to space it out. You try to bring up different topics and approach things from a different perspective. But a lot of times I end up just, when we have the combos,
Right back here.
discussing the same things. Like, but yeah, hopefully y'all don't mind. But I had this in the vault, and I've been wanting to show it to you for a while. Let's take a look at it.
I don't know about you guys, but whenever I see the Palestinian flag, I feel the exact same way, as if I am seeing a Nazi flag, as if I am seeing a swastika. To me, there is absolutely no difference. They both want me dead. I see it on a license plate, when I see it pulled out by musicians at a concert that have nothing to do with the Middle East. They all just want me dead. No difference. Same thing. I don't know about you guys, but whenever I see the Palestinian flag.
When she sees the Palestinian flag, she thinks that they just want her dead. This is why I just like to call out the hypocrisy and call out the irony. Because I don't know about you, BK. I assume you growing up in Atlanta, I assume that you saw a lot of Confederate flags hanging around.
Oh, absolutely. No.
And that when I drove down to Virginia to William and Mary, or when we used to drive down south, I used to be tripped out. Like once I realized what this flag was, and you see it on businesses and you see it just here and there. And I'm like, yo, that's the Confederate flag. Like in my mind, I'm like, oh, these people just racist. They cool with me being a slave, cool with hanging me, all that type. Yeah. Automatically, that's what I think. But nobody cares. And this is why I just say, like, yo, the energy has to be consistent for me to have any empathy or sympathy for your case. Like when you see the Palestinian flag, you think about just death, like the nerve. Like here we are living in America, and we actually didn't take over anybody's land. We actually didn't try to colonize anybody. But that Confederate flag represents us being colonized, right? Us being taken over, us being enslaved. But here you got these Jewish people who took somebody else's land and then are offended, like the nerve of them to wave their flags. Like it makes me feel like they want to kill me. You already killed them. You're killing them now, and you took all their land. How do you think they feel when they see the Star of David up there in blue and white in your flag?
How do you think they feel?
Yeah, how do you think they feel? Like it's just amazing. But it goes to, if you believe in something, and maybe this is just another testament to a different point that we're making. But if you believe in something, so like with everything in you, when you believe in something more than you believe in your principles, values, and morals, then I think you always have the potential to get misled, and get misled in a very evil, demonic, violent way. When you're following something more than you're following your principles, your morals, your values, your standards, and allowing integrity to guide you, then you always have the potential to be misled to the point where you'll sit around and you'll justify committing a Holocaust, violating your God's commandments because it's for your people. That's what I see.
Yeah, like it trips me out how it blows my mind how one will say, yes, like they will argue about, this is the religion to believe in, this is the one, this is the one. And then you will literally see them violate the principles in their religion. You want me to believe in something that tells you not to do something that you're doing. Mm-hmm. Why the fuck would I take this shit seriously? You don't think you look absolutely ridiculous? That's why the young generation not getting down with this shit.
Mm-hmm.
If you care to know why, they running as far away from people that look like they selling some shit they don't want from a mile away. Mm-hmm. There is no excuse for people that believe in something to violate the principles and it's known. We know. There's no even excuse for this. So you want us to believe in something that you continue to violate and say, well, it's my personal relationship. I don't want none of this shit y'all trying to sell me. I feel like I'm walking down Canal Street right now. It's a bunch of fake ass purses, bunch of fake ass bags, bunch of fake ass luggage. I don't want none of this shit off Canal Street y'all trying to sell.
Got the scammers trying to take advantage of you, do the little hustle games on you.
Yeah, I don't want none of this, bro. This shit is the most. If we thought DC was Hollywood, it's this must be the script. Like, as long as we got them acting and claiming that one is better than the other, well, this is the first one or we're the chosen one. This is exactly how they keep us distracted. This is why we can't pass down no experience and no wisdom. Because we still talking about this. We still sending scriptures. We didn't think to upgrade, like we got new technology and shit. Cass is still sending scriptures. I don't want to see a scripture. I want to see the scripture. I don't want to hear about the story. I want to see who's living that story now. Who's holding these things accountable? Who's standing against the adversity? It's not enough to just tell me how amazing the car is going to be when I spend my money to buy it. I want to start seeing it. I want to see why it's so good. Can we run it for a test drive? Can we inspect? Can we do a multi-point inspection just to make sure it's fitting from what my purpose is? Or y'all just going to keep telling me to buy this shit? And it's not a vessel that's going to get me to where I want to be. Did it get you to where you wanted to be? Did it get you what you was looking for? Don't pass that down to me. I don't want it. You didn't get there. I can't run off that gas. I can't run off of that. If you ain't seen this game, this day and age, when you got politics, like Finn said, you got propaganda, when you've got so many things that are so much difficult. I'm sorry, but this shit got to upgrade, y'all. This keep throwing scriptures at people that ain't even taking 2 seconds to read the book. Bro, they're on TikTok. Don't tell me no scripture. They're not gonna read that. Most of the people don't know. They don't know. They're not. You know why she's saying what she says? She ain't done the history check. She ain't done the research. She doesn't know what was going on. See the world we're living in now? We're gonna have to upgrade this shit. Cats is just seeing flags and they turned off. Guess who that sounds like from back in the day? Cats see a skin color and they turned off. Similar. Same pattern. Same story. Why are we acting like this shit new? Y'all tried to scripture it then and y'all gonna scripture it now, huh? No, bruh. Cut that shit out. It don't work. This is halftime. Like, we have to change what we doing. He can't guard him. Get him off him. Yo, he can't guard him. Get him out of there. I don't know what we got.
You're killing his confidence, coach. Get him out the game. Like,
he caught a couple bombs. He's lost it, bro. We have to change this shit, bro. This shit don't even make no sense no more for what we dealing with. Do you see what's going on? Cats can't even buy a crib. They can't have no kids. You still sending me scriptures? You still talking about who you believe in? Man, I can't even figure out how to pay. They can't even figure out how to pay their bills tomorrow. They 80K in debt from a job that you told them. God didn't tell them to go to that school. You did. Their credit score is fried. You told them to do that shit. Don't y'all all of a sudden don't want to be accountable now? While y'all was passing out religion, America was passing out debt. While y'all was passing out scriptures, they had them focus on getting in a cubicle and working and paying 30-40% taxes. Y'all bringing a knife to a gunfight. This ain't even prepared for what we got going on. Don't be passing this shit down to the young generation, bro. I'm trying to give people some tangible things that they can apply today and change their lives. So they don't have to spend 10, 15 years just trying to find something to believe in, because the shit that you're trying to tell us to believe in, it ain't helping us. We running from it. You don't want to hear no more stories, bro. Y'all done rocked us to bed. Y'all done rocked us to sleep. Put a bottle in our mouth and we woke up and we was 40. And I can't even go back to the people that was telling me what to believe in and ask them, how do I navigate this shit? Y'all, they look like I don't know what to do either. Y'all look like y'all scared. All y'all passing me down is fear. All y'all passing me down is pain. I don't want that shit, bro. Give me something I can implement, bruh. This shit, man, where's no pride? Look what we leaving these kids, bruh. I'm disappointed. And I'm right in that cusp. Where it's like, if I don't grab hold and be grounded, you can get swayed in this shit and start acting like my parents be acting. Oh, God got it. No, God don't got this credit score. I just can't believe. I'm sorry. Believe me, when I was in college trying to fight to get my degree, I couldn't have just left it on him, bro. I had to go within, bro. I had to just be like, nah, niggas ain't stopping me. I'm out here. That's the only thing that got it here. As much as I've been through, there's no way. I ain't never even thought to think it was anybody else but myself. That's the competitive advantage I'm at least past now. It ain't outside. Half the shit I was going through, I can't even blame nobody. It's all the shit I put myself into. So guess what? You got to get yourself out of that shit. That's where men are made. That's where men got to be made. Throw his ass in the woods, and if he come back, he a man now. Ain't that 300?
That's 300, yeah. Got to go kill that lion. Go kill that saber tooth or whatever it was.
Put his ass in the middle of the woods. If his ass make it back, then he ready to be a man. Y'all ain't been nowhere. Y'all ain't done shit. You never left the crib. You still in the nest. No wonder why we struggling to have a good presence of men. Y'all ain't never left the fucking nest. Go experience something. Go fail. Go lose publicly. Go be shamed. Go get picked on. Go get denied. Go get rejected. Go be racist towards. Go get some calluses. Go get some scars so a nigga know you about something. Parents teaching their kids to just be in the nest all day. That's not what the men was doing back in the day. That's what we got to push. We got to push the men. And like you said, the society's going to be built off the men. The men got to get out the nest. They need to go lose.
There's no purpose. There's no urgency.
There's none. Put their ass in the military. Yeah. I don't give a damn where you go. Sports and military, I don't give a damn where you go. This soft ass shit ain't gonna work.
Yeah, and it may, and like most things in life, they impact different groups of people differently based on what your culture is. So it's almost like when you look at American culture, because we're so privileged and entitled, religion may be even more harmful for us in certain ways. Or let me rephrase that. Religion can potentially be more harmful for us in how we practice it than other groups, because we don't have that purpose around it, because we don't have a sense of urgency. You mentioned 300. There's a clear purpose. No, when you are training to defend this village, training to defend this land, there's a real purpose around that, because we don't know when the next attack is going to come, and we're going to need to rely on you. And that training has to start at a young age. So it meant more for them to become a man because they needed men. They needed you to provide a certain role, to fulfill a certain role, I should say. And that's what happens with a lot of these other people that come to America from outside the country. They are coming there with a specific role. They got their whole family on their back sometimes. Here we look at how we live. We want to dress in the nicest clothes, impress people that we can't stand, be on Instagram, all this, the goofy stuff that we go for. These other people coming from different countries, they're able to survive here, get a crib, bring their people here, send money back home. Their responsibilities are just greater. They have a greater purpose. So therefore that it creates a more of a sense of urgency, and they can't depend on anybody else. Just like you were talking about in college. It's real convenient and real easy, perhaps for Americans who have it pretty easy. When you look around the world, we got it pretty easy here, to the point where it's actually a detriment. It's real easy for us to sit back and say, nah, God got me. It's easy for us to say that. Bring that same energy to a scenario or to a country where there's a lot more urgency, and you can't just depend on God. You can't just, you actually have to take that ownership and accountability within yourself. Oh, you don't want to train, you don't want to work out, you don't want to prepare yourself for battle. Oh, no, don't worry, God got you. Going to be slain in the first battle. Slain. Matter of fact, we'll probably we'll never even get the opportunity, because you saw how that 300 movement, if you don't match this standard, then you're a vulnerability for all of us.
Yeah, you're not even rolling.
You will be shamed before you even get the opportunity to fight in battle and represent your people. You won't even get that opportunity that we used to take on take a sense of pride in. I get to risk my life for my family. I get to risk my life for my people. But it's just changed when it comes to America. It's just changed because,
and look, even as you say that 300 part, remember the politics in that movie. There was so much politics. And because
that was a political movie.
That was a political move. It really, if you didn't really know how to conceptualize or how to really visually see how politics can control even good men, 300 will show you, even in the presence of strong, focused, passionate, purposeful men, how politics can distract them. But look how he ended up playing the game. He took it.
Well, didn't the good person? Didn't he end up? In both 300 and even when I think of Gladiator, didn't the person that stood like righteously, didn't they end up getting killed?
Yeah.
So it's like that's what. So he didn't wait for God to do it. No. He actually acted in a Christ-like manner. He sacrificed his life for the greater good, or what he thought was righteous, what he thought was principled. Mm-hmm. When people don't do that, imagine how those stories go. When nobody's willing to put it on the line, people will always get finessed. When people aren't willing to put things on the line, it allows the serpents, the snakes, it allows them to abuse the power that they have. Because they're the conniving ones. They're the finessers. They're going to be the ones that get to dictate things when men don't stand up on principle being men. That's what I see happening.
That's it. You really, politics runs out the door when men are present. When men are present, politics can only exist for so much. Because the principles of men can't be manipulated with politics. If you have your, like you said, if you have your foundational principles, if you have your foundational code of ethics, if that's what you stand on, how the fuck politics gonna jump in there? There's no room for it. The only reason politics is the number one conversation because we ain't in a room full of men. As soon as we get in the room,
that's why they created it. Like the people, when I think about the people that created it, it's the weak ones that weren't at war.
Yes,
who weren't putting their life on the line.
Yes, remember in the movie,
it's the weak ones. You don't got the courage to go out there and fight, but you just trying to control things in whatever way you can control things. That's because you still have that overwhelming urge of power because you're so insecure because you can't just go represent things on the battlefield. So what you end up doing is using conniving tactics to get in power, and a lot of times, brain beats brawn. A lot of times, those are the people that end up in control. Those are the people that end up shaping things. That's the Council of Nicaea getting together, deciding how we're going to push this religion, what books are we going to include, what books are we going to exclude from this Bible. These are the people that created the culture that we're now living by.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's exactly.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
That was it.
I want to tap into this Fauci video because it's another conversation on the same thing. It's all on us getting manipulated, us accepting what somebody else tells us accepting idolatry because we don't want to do things on our own. It's the same thing across the board. Let me press play.
Your friends, their top three things. One was food.
And before we get into the video, I want to see if this guy's name. So this is Marty Macri. Let me see if I can figure out some information about him. All right, so they didn't say anything, so we'll just get into the video.
Your friends, their top three things. One was food supply. Two was cure for diseases, which you just talked about, cancer, other things that we're talking about. Where was investigating Fauci on the list?
A lot of people are angry at Fauci. A lot of people have a right to be angry.
You were angry. You were very angry with him. You said a few things about him as well, right? A few years ago. You were very bold about it. on what he was. You were probably one of the most vocal ones towards him.
When we were all trying to figure out COVID at the very beginning, I was editor-in-chief of one of the largest trade publications that doctors read, called MedPage Today. And I figured we were hearing stories about Wuhan, China. I got to figure out the real story. I don't want to hear political pundits opine and talk about American resilience. Remember that whole, we'll be fine, we'll be strong. What the heck are you talking about? We have to understand the transmissibility, the viral load, the treatments. And so I went deep dive on this. I called doctors in Wuhan during that whole outbreak. And I basically started to realize that Fauci was misleading the public. There's only 3 coronaviruses that cause severe illness in humans: SARS, MERS, and COVID-19. Well, the other 2 are airborne. Why did he think this suddenly took a turn and was just going to be different, and telling teachers in the summer of 2020 to wear gloves and goggles and, pour a gallon of alcohol solution on your mail? And I mean, what the heck was going on? So I realized when he was being introduced on the media as our nation's top, remember this, our nation's top infectious diseases doctor, I knew the guy had not done an infectious diseases fellowship training. And there was this sort of bandwagon thinking. We see it a lot in medicine. We see it with, opioids are not addictive. How dare you disagree? We got that wrong for 15 years.
Can we stop there for a sec and just address that? We were looking at TV and Fauci, and what did they use? They scared us to death. They scared us to death with something to where we were running towards information. We were fiending for information so much that whatever they presented to us, we just accepted. It's the same conversation that we've had with religion. We were fiending for so much because we don't take care of our health on a regular basis. Because we're not prepared, maybe in case of an emergency, for a lot of these things. Now, it'd be hard to be prepared for something like this, I guess, but because we're so used to receiving information in a way where anybody in a nice suit and tie, or anybody that's designated as a teacher, we just accept everything that they're telling us. This is the approach when it comes to religion. Don't ask questions, don't question God, all these different things. So now when we're in a position where we're very scared, now who do we turn to? We didn't turn to God, we turned to Fauci. We turned to the person that presented him as the infectious disease expert. And the man never even had a fellowship in infectious diseases. Think about that. Our government presented somebody to us as the #1 expert in this area. And this gentleman, going on his word, he's saying that he never even took a fellowship. Does that not just show our mindset and how easily we are to be controlled and manipulated? And I hope a lot of us think back to that 2020 days and a lot of the thoughts that we had. And this is the problem with all of it. A lot of us are going to think back to it and not remember how we were thinking about the people that said, nah, I don't know about this whole disease. I don't know if what they're presenting to me is, the whole truth. And I don't know about this whole shot. I don't know about all these things. Think about what we were thinking about at the time. We continuously get manipulated, all to benefit the people in power, the powers that be, at our expense. We continue to put trust in people that show us time after time that they do not have our best interest at heart. We do this consistently, whether it's Black people accepting Christianity because that's what your oppressor taught you when they're enslaving you, but they're going to give you something great, something to empower you with this Christianity. Across the board, we just accept things. I don't know what it is, but this lack of, this is why when we bring up videos, when it's the LGBTQ and we see that them trying to make a plan to emasculate men, this is why it's so important to emasculate men. BK, what did you just talk about when it came to the whole 300? When it came to politics in general, when men walk in the room, all that political stuff goes out it goes completely out the door, out the window. But men have to be men. Men are the only ones that check this type of thinking, because who makes people feel safe? Men. When you're in a dangerous situation and you got dad there and you feel like your dad is the most powerful person in the world, you're good. No matter what neighborhood you're walking in, dad grab your hand, you good. That's who's supposed to be the protector. So it's no different when it comes to our spiritual protection, our political protection. When are men going to stand up? When are men going to determine, like, nah, we're not just going for this just because they presented this to us on the news. We're going to do our own due diligence. We're going to do our own research. We're going to do our own independent investigation of all of these things, whether it's politics, whether it's religion, whether it's nutrition, health and wellness, all of these different areas of life. But what do? We just listen to what Fauci says. And it's clear now. If it wasn't clear then, it's clear now that they lied to us. They lied to us about the origin of it. They lied to us about the jab. They lied to us. They said any and everything that they wanted to us to simply get us to take this jab and to make a whole bunch of money for these elites and big pharma, a lot of the people that then turn around and give donations to the politicians. We got played.
So tell me this, Dad. Everything you just said, if I remove it, and like you said, and you take it out of what happened in 2020, and let's just say you put it into the family dynamics of how religion ties into family, how the husband ties into the woman, and all that. Are we getting played?
Say, repeat it. I just want to make sure that I'm clear on the question.
Sense of is when the people, like you said, when the people that were the ones that told you that they were the ones to be put in front and to give you the path. But then when we get there, those people don't know what the hell's going on. All of a sudden, this wasn't what we thought it was. The people that were supposed to have the answers, who were so confidently giving answers back then, all of a sudden don't have the answers now. And they're not even willing to accept responsibility for not having the answers, or making a mistake of not having the answers, or not giving the right answers. So when I remove that and just let's just pull it out of 2020 and just put this into the family dynamics. Religion, politics. When the man is in the household, supposed to be the Fauci, running around telling me, oh, I need to believe in, send my son a scripture, and he needs to believe in this, believe in that. Okay, cool. And then when we find out, but that's not working, Pops. But what do? You blame somebody else. So it seems like a game. It seems like
my fault.
No, yeah, it's the delay. But yeah, it just seems like, oh, hold up. So when you had said that, I was like, damn, even if you pull 2020 out of it and you put this into the family dynamics, at the end of the core principles of this shit is men being men. It has to exist for the politics to not, for us to not have a podcast, men would have to exist across the board. We wouldn't have shit to talk about, because guess who not talking as crazy as they're wrong? Guess who doesn't govern the house? Politics don't govern my house. I govern the house. I say what goes. I say what we do. I say when we jump, how high, where we going. I control that. Fucking politics gonna do for me. Politics can't do shit but take my money for taxes. That's it. Once you know, once you ain't begging for somebody to make a change and understanding, yeah, the change is for us, but at the same time, it ain't for me. I know what we gonna do. But I understand I can't be greedy and say, well, I know what to do, so fuck the other people that don't know what to do. They may not be as strong as me. There may not be men around them as me. But there has to be some type of a responsibility taken by the men around and in these family dynamics to say, oh, nah, all that politics shit, when I'm around, I don't give a fuck what they talking about. I'm standing on principle. Something's wrong, it's wrong, it's wrong. I'll go to school and let somebody know the wrong. I'll go to police station and let somebody know it's wrong. I'll go anywhere and stand on business. But when you don't have men and the men start getting emasculated, they start being scared to step up and speak. When women are jabbing them left and right about, oh, don't control me, don't talk to me like that. You can't do this, you can't do that. When you, like you said, you got the LGBT propaganda being pushed day one. When you have all these places where if being a man is like being a barbarian in 2025, you doing too fucking much. Saying something is too much. They don't want, being a man in this day and age will have you isolated, jobless, It'll have you isolated from people who don't want to speak to you. It'll have you single as fuck. That's what being a man in this culture is going to get you right now. We're not embracing it. There's no place for it in politics. There's no place for it in relationships. There's no place for it in corporate. Where the fuck you want the men to go? Where you want them to go? When we had men stand up and say stuff about, oh, the Jewish people control the thing, y'all Kanye them. Y'all cancel them. Look what y'all do to the men. You publicly crucify them. Then you wonder why the men just choose not to be one or even tried to be that. Why are your superheroes not men? I thought growing up when you were 5, 6, 7, 10, 15, your superheroes were men. The fuck happened? Now ask me as a grown-up, if somebody ain't in a cape and a fucking a hat or something, who the fuck can the superheroes be? To me, it's always got to be the Batman story. It's always got to be a good guy trying to go against bad, because we don't allow them to be the men that they need to be to get the support. Look at what Candace Owens is doing, right? That's manly. That's manly, what she doing. But look at all the other guys. They want to get on little podcasts with PBDB. She ain't got no friends. See what we've created? He feels more comfortable publicly saying that stupid, conniving, soft-ass shit than Candace does going at every fucking big pharma, big corporate turning point. She don't give a fuck about none of that. If y'all never seen what a man look like, just look at Candace Owens for y'all people that don't know what the fuck it look like. Never had a dad in your house that really stood on something. Look at Candace Owens, guys. The #1 podcast, not Joe Rogan, Candace Owens, guys. You know what she's chasing? The truth. You know who's canceling her? The people that don't want to know it. I don't want to hear complaints about ain't no men. You guys don't give them a platform and an avenue to exist. Candace had to bootstrap this shit and put it all on her own back. Now you want men to go be men. How? Y'all won't even throw Candace a super chat. Send her $5 for standing in adversity since there are no men willing to do it. Support her just because of that, bruh. We love to see somebody who's trying to tell the truth gets crucified. Shouldn't nobody be... Candace Owens should feel so confident that not a fucking soul will touch her. Why? Because the people's supposed to be backing her up like that. Mm-hmm. The people's supposed to be outside of her crib like this on some, I wish I would try to touch her.
Yeah, not this one. She off limits. Not this one.
Not this one. Y'all not even, we not where we at. Where's the rally? Where's the support? Why she ducking? She got family, she got kids. Where the men at? Why it ain't 10 men outside her crib saying, I wish you would? I wish you would try to stop the truth. I wish you would try to block her. I wish you would try to play her. Where the men be at? When the shootings are happening at the school, where the men be at? Why the dads ain't standing outside the school? I said, I wish the motherfucker would pull up in this bitch and try to play my kids. What they go do? They go to work. They say, I got to go get my check. Oh, okay. All right. Shout out to Candace. Apparently got the biggest balls known to man. It's bigger than Trump's. Y'all was quick to vote for Trump. Y'all walk around with his hat on like, oh yeah, MAGA this, MAGA that. Where the energy at? Get me a Candace shirt. Y'all be so quick to rally behind Nick Fuentes. Where the Candace shirt at? Mm-hmm. Where the black people at behind Candace? Oh, y'all pick and choose. I knew I didn't fuck with y'all niggas. I knew I didn't fuck with y'all.
And to your point, this may sound, I don't know how this is going to come across, but I believe that I believe it. Let me just say it. I think we'd be better off if we saw our fathers, the man leading our household, if we believed in them as much as we believe in God, and perhaps prioritize that belief. I believe if we see our fathers as the God figures, that's what I grew up looking at it. I grew up, I didn't shoot. If things got tough, if I'm crying, if I'm having a bad day, my parents are my gods. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Hey, when it hits the fan, my parents are my God. When I think about all the supernatural things that my parents have done over this time, where I sit back and I'm like, oh my God, how could humans do this? Like, how I could never see myself. That was my parents. And to me, it comes full circle, because the only way that kids are going to look at their parents like that is if their parents are representing and living in that godly nature, rather than looking for somebody else to do for them what they need to be doing for themselves.
Okay.
So that's really it's still the same point. When we embrace and take ownership ourselves rather than looking externally, it actually inspires. That's real inspiration to other people that you're supposed to be leading. That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it.
Yeah, you're right. Because when a kid's not old enough to conceptualize and understand God, this, God, that, who is his God? You right.
Yeah.
It's mom and dad.
It's mom and dad, bro.
I'm sorry, you may not want the responsibility, but they look at you, they're superhero. You protect them from everything. You tell them where to go. You tell them what to do. You're responsible for them. How dare you be a fucking coward?
Yeah, nobody asked to be brought into this world, man.
How dare you not be willing to stand up and protect the truth? How dare you complain to me about, oh, well, you did it. What? That's what happened. There's people was having kids, but everybody wasn't suitable to be a parent that had one. And this is why this next generation's having a tough time. They not running to their parents. They're cutting them off. They're not
And
running.
it's going to continue to get tougher. It's going to continue to get tougher until we embrace that we need to be the ones that are our light guiding us, not some mythical figure or not some real figure. I'm not even going to say it's mythical, but I'm pretty sure when we used to run around with those WWJD bracelets on, that's to empower us. That's to remind ourselves of what would Jesus do in this situation. That was to empower, not to say, oh, let me rely on Jesus in this situation. Let me rely on some external force. At least that's how I saw it. And Vons wrote, parents are not gods, but to each its own. Well, what is a God, Vons? Let's wait for that response. What is a God to you? If parents are not gods, then what is a God to you? And what I would also have you question is, perhaps maybe that's the problem.
Oof.
Perhaps you not looking at your parents as gods. Perhaps that's the problem. Perhaps that's what we need to challenge when it comes to our parents. Because you sitting here saying that our parents are not gods, but to each its own. Well, you couldn't have grown up with my parents. You couldn't have grown up with my parents and be on here talking that. And that's nothing that my parents ever had to declare. And they probably are maybe even uncomfortable with me saying that. But you, just by you saying that parents are not gods, but to each its own, you could not have grown up with my parents.
Oh my God.
For you to be putting the fact that you put God on a pedestal over your parents, and that's to each their own, bro. To each their own. That's wild to me. That's wild to me. Like, a lot of y'all thought Barack Obama was y'all God. A lot of y'all look at LeBron James, Michael Jordan as your God. But your parents not? Maybe that, I don't know.
Oh, he in his bag.
I don't know. And Vons vote, well, thank God we not related. Vons, how can I say this?
Oh, just don't go there.
Well, I want to. I'll just emphasize once again that I guess it to each their own, like you said, when it comes to parents.
Yeah, that's good. That's good enough for me.
I'm just
it's good enough for me. That's good for me right there. That's good enough for me.
all right. Let's continue with the video.
Continue.
An old story in medicine, and so now I realize, as I was trying to figure things out and be independent from just reciting the catechism that Fauci put out, what he was doing with his time is leading a massive cover-up of the possibility that this came from the Wuhan lab, which any smart person will tell you it's obvious, right? The epicenter of the world was 5 miles from the lab. The lab had submitted, we just learned this about 2 years ago, and there's a great film called Thank You, Dr. Fauci, and it goes through all this. And that lab had submitted a grant proposal to the United States government 2 years before COVID in 2018, saying the proposal said, we at the Wuhan lab would like to take a bat coronavirus and genetically modify it by inserting the furin cleavage sites to enable it to infect humans. Now, what? It was the cookbook for COVID-19. And then people are acting like, oh, we don't know where it came from. They were plotting to do it. They had the resources to do it. They filed for a patent for a COVID-19 vaccine in like February of 2020. How do you have a patent on a vaccine that early? People have a right to be angry. I'm angry. 20 million people may have died globally, $25 trillion. And people in the United States got so polarized, this toxic polarization, they got spun up by affirming media where they're angry at everybody. They're angry at a college kid who's healthy, who has no risk of dying of COVID because he's not getting his second COVID booster shot. They're angry at somebody not wearing a mask outside, a cloth mask. And they're angry at everybody, but they're not angry at the scientists that brewed this up in the lab. They were mad scientists.
So what should happen, though? I mean, if you think...
There's been no accountability with this. There's been no accountability with this. People are not pissed off. People are not watching MSNBC or Fox News or whoever, and people may be saying, well, Fox wasn't, pushing the vaccine. Look, both parties were pushing it. It just depended on who was in office at the time. When Trump was in office, it started off where all the Democrats were saying, oh, no, we can't take this. It's too fast. It's developed too quickly. The day Biden and Kamala Harris got in, they decided to release it. So it just switched based on political. It went to politics rather than us prioritizing our health. And to your point earlier, BK, any leader should have been able to look at that and say, look at these dumbass politicians. Like 1 second they're saying that they don't support it. 1 second they're saying they do support it. It's just based on who's in office and who's going to get credit for providing it to the people. But do we actually think back to what we were thinking at that time? Do you actually change the way that you look at some of these politicians that told you certain things, some of these quote unquote experts? Do you question them? Did you ask them? Do you go back now and ask them like, hey, why were you pushing me to, why did you give me this jab? Why don't you go back to your doctor and ask like, yo, based on all the negative things that have come out about this, did you do your own research about this before you're giving it to patients? Did you do your due diligence? Perhaps we should be asking these doctors these things because they got it wrong. And guess what? The conspiracy theorists, we got it right. Y'all got it wrong. You were listening to all the experts, all the doctors, and I'm just sitting over here. I'm not the super Christian. I'm not the super, I wasn't listening to Fauci, wasn't listening. Did I just get lucky? Maybe. But it just didn't seem right. And this is the thing. Perhaps we need to take the word of certain people when you're in that particular industry. Whenever my family goes to the doctors, because I'm in an industry where I work with doctors, it's my initial reaction is, bro, what did they tell you? They told you to get what? Man, you don't need that. You don't need that. Did you ask him this? Did you ask him that? Ask them how many people in their family are taking that they just gave you. Ask them if they know some more information about it. But what ends up happening? You go to the doctor's moving fast, from patient to patient real quickly, doesn't spend much time with you, doesn't explain the things, and you're too scared because they got their white coat on, so you don't even really want to ask questions. You just go on with what everybody else is doing. Over and over, we give these people power. We always put our power externally and put our trust externally so we won't have to force ourselves to do a lot of that work internally, to do a lot of that research. We're just going to believe in something. All this stuff across the board. Are we going back and now evaluating? Why isn't there like a huge story on this? We were all tricked into putting something into our body with something that was created in a lab when they told us that this wet market with these bats. No. Why were they in a lab doing research on this? This is chemical warfare. Does anybody have these questions? Like, do we even consider these things when we got Bill Gates running around talking about we need to depopulate? And he's always talking about depopulation. And I don't know if y'all remember, initially when this whole thing happened, he was the one that was on TV before Fauci being seen as the quote unquote expert. And it's like, what does Bill Gates have to do with any of this? And then when you start to put things into context, you're like, damn, Bill Gates, he's trying to buy all our farmland. He continues to talk about depopulation. He's pushing for this jab for us to put in our arm. Are we just going to believe this stuff? We're just like the sheep. We're just like a silly animal who's just in line about to get about to become somebody's dinner, and we're just in line just going along with it, like, hey, how you doing? Like, I don't get it, but I just don't get it. I just don't get it.
No,
that's where we are.
Where's the Netflix documentary?
Yeah, where's all these things? Why are people not pissed off? Why are y'all still watching the same news stations that lied to y'all? Why? And at the very least, if they didn't lie to you, they didn't do the due diligence before they told you to run out there and put something in your arm. Now, for those who may not have had any complications, let me state this. I hope nobody has complications from it. And I hope everything's just fine. But there have been a lot of people with complications, and who knows what the complications moving forward could be. But this is just a reoccurring thing. We just give our babies vaccines. We give our babies vaccines for stuff that like there's some, like, we give one of the shots that we give to the babies, the vaccine, it's like it's like an STD type of thing. It's like, why are you giving that to them as a baby? Like, you revisit that later on when they're a little stronger, you know what I mean? Like, they a little less vulnerable. But no, we just, hey, whatever the government tells us, they have our best interests at heart, and that's what they do. And we were founded on these Judeo-Christian values, so our country's amazing, right? Okay, cool. So we'll just listen to whatever. If they got a white coat on, if they got a degree, yeah, that makes them have integrity, be righteous. It's a lazy way of looking at life. It's a lazy way of looking at life. It's Hep B. That's what it is. Yep, Hep B that's the vaccine. Like, yo, why are you giving babies this? But nobody says anything, yo. Nobody says anything. Matter of fact, this is why, yo, I'll respect the church or the synagogue or the mosque. Show me those that are stepping up and speaking out against these type of things. Show me the people. If you're so religious and you don't believe in witchcraft and sorcery and all this stuff, what do you think they were doing in that lab? What do you think that they were doing? Violating God's commandments, putting this thing out to either kill people with the disease, or to then try to sell them on something that ultimately could harm them as well. Where are all these people stepping up and speaking out against Big Pharma? We got the opioid crisis. Where are the religious people that are going to step up and say, you know what, we should no longer be able to advertise opioids on TV because we got an opioid crisis? Where are these people? Where are the pastors that are going to come out and say, yo, y'all better stop taking that goofy Ozempic stuff, putting all this stuff in your body that's ruining the inside? Well, they can't say anything because right after church, we're going to go downstairs and they're going to be serving fried chicken and all that other stuff that's causing us the health complications. We are just lazy, bro. We're just lazy.
This shit is a circus.
We're just lazy, yo. I feel like I'm on just like a lazy team. Like, I'm just on a team where it's like, yo, y'all don't want to win. Like, y'all don't want to, like, yo, we got to. That's what I feel like. That's what I feel like. You want me to keep going?
Yeah, this shit.
It's wild, bro.
Think about, here's a guy who said, masks, yeah, you got to wear masks, and the cameras were off, he's taking the masks off. Here's a guy that said, I probably will never shake another person's hand ever again. It's probably a good idea to never shake someone's hand ever again. What are you talking about? I mean, you came in right now, we shook hands. That's one way of greeting each other, right? He says, you should trust me. I think I'm somebody you should trust. Trust science. He kept saying this over and over and over again, and then making people feel guilty. So now people sit there and listen to him. 6-foot rule. I never said that. You kind of did. And hey, my grandma's dying. No, you can't go see her. Why? Because you may give her COVID or you may give you COVID. I never saw my grandma on her deathbed.
Yo, that actually happened to me. That actually happened to me. I had to bury my nan during COVID at some trash funeral because people couldn't get together. We didn't even have a legit funeral. We couldn't have a legit funeral. We couldn't go see my grandma like that in the nursing home. We couldn't, she had dementia. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't do all these things because these people wanted to put out this goofy stuff to fearmonger us so they could sell us something, that jab. But we just go along with everything, bro. We just go along with everything. We allowed these people to completely change our lives, bro. To completely shift everything, to have our world on pause for a year and a half. For what? Do we know how much money was made by Big Pharma during this time? These are the things that we should be studying. These are the things that MSNBC should be doing stories on. But they won't do it on it because what do they get? They get the money from Big Pharma that pays for their advertisement slots. We don't even realize that even if we do our due diligence, this is why it was so harmful what Mark Zuckerberg and a lot of these people did that control these social platforms. Why it was so harmful with them censoring a lot of these experts, real experts, not Anthony Fauci experts, fake experts that they put in front of us. What they did was they knew that if they silenced those people, that the only research that people could do is by looking up the white papers. The white papers that we look at, they do studies to let us know what medicine, what procedures, what technology, exactly how that's impacting us. Is it a good thing? Is it a negative thing? All these things. Does this medicine work? The white papers are sponsored by Big Pharma. Big Pharma hires the doctors. They pay the doctors to evaluate the medicine that the Big Pharma companies are getting ready to put out. So if I want to get paid as a doctor, do you think that I'm going to write a favorable response and evaluation? Do you think that I'm going to be more lenient, maybe perhaps, with judging whether or not that medicine is good? The pharmaceutical company that makes the medicine is paying me. So do I want to continue getting paid? And don't act as if we all got these principles and morals to where we would just stand on it and not accept the money. The majority of us are at jobs right now where we can't stand just because of the money. So you think that doctor is going to be doing anything differently? Let's keep going.
There's a lot of people that went through this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
What can you do? What can, HHS do to make those people whole and say, you know what? I'm good. We got to the bottom of it. Now I can live my life and accountability has been held. What do you think can happen for those people to be comfortable moving forward?
I don't know, but people want closure. They want a proper investigation. They want justice to be served. There was clearly a massive cover-up. 3 a.m. emails going on when Fauci was told that, hey, this, the Wuhan lab is being implicated, and we funded the Wuhan lab. They
3 a.m. email that he's
to the head of the committee that's supposed to approve gain-of-function research, and Fauci and Collins had created a system. So the origin is that in Wisconsin, in conjunction with another lab, they did an experiment where they juiced up a flu virus to make it very deadly. And they showed that it infected these ferrets, which are known respiratory models used for research. And they published this article. And basically the researchers said, hey, we juiced up, we Frankensteined a very deadly virus, and we show that it's contagious. And the world scientific community read this article and said, what the hell did you just do? No one should ever do this. Just because you can do something in science doesn't mean you should. This is a bunch of mad scientists. And they petitioned President Obama at the time to ban gain-of-function research. And he, to his credit, put a moratorium on it. Well, Fauci and Collins were known to oppose this moratorium, and they did their bureaucratic ways to make sure that they could continue to do this, including writing an op-ed titled something like "Dangerous Flu Research," gain-of-function research, a risk worth taking. And they changed the definition, and they worked around the committee that was supposed to approve grants for gain-of-function research, and they continued to fund gain-of-function research. Now, President Trump, one of his first things when we all took our office was to ban gain-of-function research, any dangerous gain-of-function research. Fauci will still parse his words. He's kind of a master at it. Like when he said, I'd never called for schools to be closed. Well, when DeSantis reopened the schools, he said, this is extremely dangerous, right? And people could die. And so, I mean, he's the master of sort of circumlocution, I don't know what's going to happen, but people have a right to be angry.
When we set out to create a shoe that blends comfort.
By the way, man, Valuetainment, I say a lot of, they get on my nerves a lot, but they're doing something different, bro. They got the sneakers now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just have to, sometimes you got to just
get a
little head nod, like
flowers.
Got you, bro. Like, everything that we dream of and we talk about, they're doing.
They got clothing.
They got the clothing, bro. They got the sneakers. Their studio is like a huge thing on an old at an old airport. It's at an old airport. That's their studio. Like, yeah, all that stuff that I talk, man. They
in their bag with that.
Man, they not waiting on no Messiah. Now let me stop. Always
got to bring it back to the Messiah.
I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have said that. Yes, I should have. But yeah, it's a lot. The conversations seem to all come down to the same thing, whether we're talking about relationships, religion, politics. It's just having a sensible approach to things and a foundation of accountability with all this stuff. That's how I really see it, bro. That's how I really see it. So we're either going to be forced into taking accountability. And a lot of times when we're forced into taking accountability, let's say with our health, we find out too late. And then we're in a situation where we're so fearful. And now there's such a sense of urgency where we end up following the wrong things. We end up getting caught up with the wrong things. And, perhaps we should have a different mindset when it comes to a lot of these things. But I think having a man, and I'm saying men in particular, we got these Appreciate Men shirts coming out too. But having a man in a family, I think if you didn't have that, then it's very hard to understand what it does, I think, for a lot of people. But when you have a man, just think a man in the household that you trust in leading is Jake Trenton on the football field with us, BK.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Like, there's certain players that you just think about when you out there on the field. This is a real thing. Shoot, I'm sure a lot of people felt like that with you, BK. Like, who gonna be the first one to set it off?
Yeah.
Who's gonna be like when I remember when Trenton out there and we playing like it don't matter. We playing some big boys.
Shit gonna be
you get a list. You get some of these type of players where it's like, I'm with them, so I'm with whatever. Like, I got my hitter. This is my hitter right here. Yeah. You know what I mean? You just feel that's what it is having a man in the house, bro.
And it pulls you. It pulls you, even if you're not there yet. It pulls you up to get to that standard.
That's what he on. That's what I'm on too. Like you see one of your mans get a big hit, you like, oh no, I need that. Yeah. Oh no, I need that. My mindset completely shifted. I wasn't even on that. Now I'm on that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You see somebody wake up the game with a big it's like, yeah. That's what we on.
Yeah.
That's what we on.
It just turns the whole team, the heartbeat. All you need is a KOB on kickoff who don't care about any bit of his body, who gonna knock somebody square in their tooth, and you like, whoa, everybody on the side. And then coach call for ones. We running out there. Nigga, the tone has been set.
Yeah.
The tone has been set. When you got a Trenton behind you, man, BK, slide your dumb ass over. You get in the A gap. Oh, shit. My bad. Blitz.
Hey, yo, what coach call? What did coach call? Yo, I bet. Like, yo.
Just go straight in the A gap. Go straight in the A gap. You like, bet. And then it trained you how you supposed to be, because eventually we went from one side and we became them guys that we was putting cats in the right gaps. We was telling them how to set the tone. We was the one having to do this. And it keeps a standard on both sides. It makes the young bulls continue to chase wanting to be first in sprints or hundreds on the field. It makes them to continue to chase wanting to be, who's going to clean the most? Who's going to squat the most? You're inspiring the younger generation by your sacrifice publicly. Then when they see that go from the gym and then hit the field, they like, hold up, nigga just ain't moving weight. Nigga moving grown men. Oh no, he like that. Yo, he cold, bro. He cold. You ain't got to send me one scripture, bro. Just send me a man.
Send me a man. That's what a father does in the household.
That's it.
I don't think people truly, and fathers don't get the appreciation. And let me be very clear. This is a capital M man. This is a capital F father. Right. Like, this is not just you just show up and you're a father. No, like, let's recognize the sacrifice that it takes in order to be that father, that where you're not going to be appreciated. You're not going to be the most liked.
Right.
Mommy's going to be the most liked. You know what I mean? It's just because you're going to be the one that has to say no. You're going to be the one that has to discipline us. You're going to be the one that gives the spankings. You know what I'm saying? Now, I know there's no spankings now. You know, we can't spank kids now. Whatever. You're the one that's going to have to figure out how to discipline that kid, especially when it comes to a young man that you're raising. That's what a father is in the household. All that energy combined in one. Your pops walk into one of your games. Oh, all right. You know, you just get a little one. Like, all right,
if I don't stand on no business, he gonna call out. He'd be like, yo, I see you get knocked over by you. Like, damn, dad, chill.
Yo, my dad would never sit down. He always just stood in the entrance, like near the door. Like, he would never sit down. So he'd just be standing there. I remember at like my Pee-wee basketball game, like learning, it was called Learn and Play. He walked into the gym, just standing there, fresh from work, just standing there, just looking.
Don't even say
same thing at football. He wasn't involved. Like, he wasn't one of those involved parents. He just was looking he wasn't one of these overbearing, like talking to the coach and all that stuff. It was just like, just sit back from afar and just make sure everything's straight, that type of thing. But we got somebody that played Bergen Tech. Hold up. So Tube Savage, we played against you?
Oh, snap. You didn't know that?
So if he was 08, then that means we played against. If you graduated 08, then we just missed you, because we played against Bergen Tech our junior year when we missed the playoffs. We played against Bergen Tech, yeah. But yeah, that's all I got, man. That's all I got. Matter of fact, Queen said, shout out to Mr. Caldwell, man. Shout out to Mr. Hogan, because that's exactly what your pops was on. Hey, there's a reason why my pops loves your pops, why they got that relationship that they got. So yeah, it's man, strong fathers, man. We got to celebrate them. And we got to celebrate the women that allow, I think, that the man to be the man. We got to celebrate that as well, because it's all about roles, and we're just missing out on this father role. So it's not like we're saying that the father is more important, and we don't need to get into that conversation. But I think it's just about when parents embrace the roles, whatever role is necessary, when they prioritize the kids. It's almost like looking at America. When we look at America first, whoever prioritize, like when you got the kids, when you put the kids first, you're probably going to make a lot of the decisions, the better decisions, and you're going to put the right level of accountability on yourself. It's the same thing with prioritizing. How did I man, I went from that to that. Yeah, we're just gonna leave it wherever it is right now. We're gonna leave it there. Man.
It's a lot.
Man.
It's a lot.
Yeah. And hold up, let me comment because Phyllis is a little bit late, but I like what she just wrote. She wrote, I'm behind in the feed, started at the beginning to Dak saying that parents are gods, questioning parents would gladly sacrifice their lives for their child. So I agree with you. This is, think about that.
Oh, that is godly.
Yo, y'all giving Jesus all of this, like, and I'm not picking on Vons, but a lot of people believe that, you know, you hold God in a higher standard than your parents. To each their own, like Vaughn said. I know that my parents would die for me. I know that they would do anything. And I forget all that would die for me. I don't even want to put that out there. I know my parents would do anything for me, sacrifice anything for me.
That's powerful.
You give Jesus all that praise because he sacrificed, right? Because he put himself on the line, but you're not giving it. Maybe parents got to do a better job. Like I said,
yeah.
Maybe if you're not looking at your parents like some gods, maybe that's something that we should address. Because
everything you need. When we say, why do we ask for our fathers to be involved into approving our daughters, boyfriends, and girlfriends? Like, we can't act like they not supposed to be where they at. Like, y'all keep wanting to humanize that role and position. I'm wondering why. Nah, Pop's supposed to be everything and more. That's it. We got to get back to that. Like, why the hell is it so okay to just remove the responsibility? Maybe they'd take more pride if they knew how important it was. Some parents get it. Some parents understand, like, yo, this shit, I can't even do it. Like, yeah, some parents know that, but if you constantly like listening to outside and exterior instead of like, if you're in a lot of these situations, these fathers didn't grow up with fathers. So there's a small percentage of those fathers don't even know what the fuck we talking about. This shit sound like a book. They're like, it sound like a Dr. Seuss book. These guys these black guys talking about fathers. What they on? But when you don't realize how important you are,
right, as
just being able to be a father. Women give birth, men give life. It's how the fuck you supposed to? We cherish the women. How the fuck you not cherishing the man? That man, without that man, there is no life. There is none. The woman always has eggs every 30 days until that man decides to make a connection. Until life is brought into this world. How are we not supposed to walk this earth like we have a level of responsibility? See, when y'all hear God, y'all think somebody who's going around pointing fingers and telling niggas what to do. Nah. That's what I'm saying. You see that definition? We keep to move it and change it. Whenever I see high positions, CEO, father, leader, I hear a truckload of responsibility. I hear sacrifice. I hear accountability. I hear publicly embarrassed if incorrect. I hear a lot of things that go into the responsibility of somebody. When people hear captain, they hear leader. I'm like, if you seen Cox in college, you see how much work takes into being a leader. If you seen what
you got to be around some leaders. That's the point. You got to be around them
for you to be like, oh, okay, maybe I'm not built out for that.
Oh, that's what that is.
That's what that is.
You just gave me goosebumps with the whole Cox thing. Because that's the standard for a lot of us.
Different. When you start
that's the standard.
That's different, bro. And
that was my roommate before games.
Oh yeah, so you was on your P's and Q's.
So that TV getting turned off at a certain time. You're gonna be studying your playbook at a certain time.
You're gonna be up early.
You're gonna be up early. You going to Bible study?
All that.
If you going, I'm going. Like, you know what I mean? That's the energy. That's what leaders do. They lead by example, and they're not scared to address it verbally. It's a two-way street, not only by example. Now I'm willing to challenge you verbally because I know what I'm about.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, shout out to, man. We need to start giving out some awards.
Yeah,
we need to start giving out some awards, man.
We got some people that shape. I know I got some people, some guys who have shaped my perception of what leaders look like, what standing on business look like. Like I ain't even give a damn about if my dad was any of this shit I'm talking about. I surrounded myself around people who was on that type of time, and it can't come out of me. I can't even get rid of it. It's impossible. It completely shaped the trajectory of my vision. And now I get to pass that down. Come on, man. When you seeing Cox talking about for 6 months, he goes to church by himself on Sunday while we was all turned. He's at the gym and we go up, we pull up, we see the white F-150 an hour and a half before practice. He already warming up. He already cracking jokes. He already dressed in, and we just running in there talking about something. I just got out of. Then you hear he in the business school. Then you hear he got time to volunteer. Then you hear you like, oh shit. Come on, man.
That's real. Sometimes that's a good reminder because you don't necessarily. Yeah, Cox doing the business school. Yeah, I'm about to do that too.
Yeah,
Cox setting up these programs where we volunteering that. Oh yeah, we gonna go do that.
We're doing that, and then complain about nothing.
Cox start asking you. You sit down with certain people and they start asking you questions. To this day, bro. To this day, last year, when we were at Super Bowl, Cox he sat Grimes and I down. Like he came to the table, with Grimes and I, we just chilling, trying to have a good time at Super Bowl. Cox come over there. We started talking about relationships. And Cox give us like the serious, like, these are some of the things you should look out for. This is what it is. And then he turned to me and was like, well, what's up with your situation? Because Maya was here last year and I heard some talk and now she not here. Like started like, I'm like, damn, bro. I'm like, he's like, he turned, you should have seen it. Cox started talking like this. He started using, he said, well, what's up with your situation? I said, damn. And everything I said, I didn't even like what I said after that because I wasn't even accepting accountability in that conversation. It was like, well, nah, she be like this. And I'm sitting here like, oh, I don't like what that just meant. And I had to really process it with myself. You know what I'm saying? Because naturally we push back. So you need people like that who will hold you accountable, who will check you, You know what I'm saying? So yeah. All right, let's appreciate y'all. As always, do us a favor, make sure that you like. We tried to run the show a little bit later today, just because we know we've been cutting it off a little shorter the last couple of days. I did get my car registration. I finally got my car registered. I'm embarrassed to say what I realized, how long it's been overdue, but took care of that. And now just got to get the easy part, the inspection done. Why am I telling y'all all this? Let's get to the box breathing. So like, let's get the algorithm going. Let's get as many people in the building for this part of the show, which is the most important part of the show, where we do our breath work, meditation, manifest, whatever it is that you need. We're going to do a box breathing technique, which is a 4-second inhale, in which we're actively and intentionally inhaling positive energy. Then we're going to do a 4-second hold, and then we'll do a 4-second release, letting the breath out, letting all the negative energy, limiting energy that may be in us that's preventing us from becoming the best version of ourselves. And then we'll do a 4-second hold and repeat that 4 times. Glad, you want it? Or you want me to go ahead and get it?
You got it.
I got it. All right. So if you're in a safe place and you feel comfortable closing your eyes, that's the recommendation, but to each their own. So we're going to begin with the 4-second inhale now. Hold. Exhale the negative energy. Hold. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. And on this next inhale, make sure that we're being very intentional. Feel the positive energy, empowering energy entering your system. Ready, go. Hold. And on this next exhale, hold it. On this next exhale, we're going to release the last remaining bit of that negative energy. Ready? Let it out. Hold. I was just seeing how long y'all gonna hold.
You always got something going on, man.
I was just seeing how long I got caught up in the moment. I'm like, you know what? They can hold a little longer. All right, man. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know what we come here to do. Elevate on purpose, both from an intentional standpoint, raising our standards to become the best versions of ourselves that we can become, to become the best leaders that are now needed more than ever, as we can see in this current society, and just developing whatever it is that we need to develop into in order to feel confident and to go after these goals that we set for ourselves. Aim high. And then once we attain those goals, we aim higher. That's the energy. So strength and honor, onward and upward. Get to that bag. For those that don't know what I mean when I say get to the bag, on this journey, as we're living in our purpose, striving for purposeful abundance, there's going to be things that can serve as a compass, guide rails, that are going to be the things that we focus on to make sure that we're on the proper trajectory, moving efficiently as possible to make the impact on this world that we want to, which is ultimately going to be called our personal legend. Shout out to that book, The Alchemist, that personal legend. The things that I like to focus on: peace, love, happiness, health, wealth, and in everything we do, integrity. All right. You got to figure out, and of course, we got the balance. So figure out the things that you want to focus on, figure out what you want to accomplish, the impact on this world that you want to make. And let's figure out a map, and not only the map, but figure out some ways and areas that we need to grow and develop in order to accomplish those goals and persevere and overcome whatever challenges come our way. So on that note, I don't know. We got any comments, Glay?
Yeah, Unc over there talking about something. If I hold my breath too long, I'm gonna pass out.
Oh my God! Look at Unc. Yeah, Unc said, "I'll never meet another gold digger. I'll never meet another gold digger." Hey, put it out into the energy. Put the energy out there to the universe. I'm going to win the lottery. I'm always going to be positive about what I think. I never know negativity. It will never cross my threshold. I love that, Unc. I really do love that. Let's hold on. Let me move on. Let's see what else we got. Unc, I got to share the wealth card from Monopoly to give you when you win. I got my share of the wealth card. Yeah, we all win Monopoly, man. Remember that? You ever played the Monopoly game? Was that big?
BK? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'll just say that was a national thing.
Yeah.
Finn wrote, strong men don't just rise for themselves. They rise for the family they protect, the legacy they build, and the foundation they stand firm upon. Strength and honor. Always coming through with the good advice.
Always got some good shit.
Always, bro. Finn always got something. Unc said, I'm riding with you, Steve. Until that day, you have a wonderful afternoon. May peace and blessings always be upon you. May each of you know a better tomorrow than you had today. One love always. Appreciate that, Unc. And Steve wrote, fire is the test of gold. Whew, fire is the test of gold. Adversity is the test of strong men. Be the change. Quee sent the fire emojis. So on that, if BK, you don't have anything else?
No, that's it, man. Great conversation, elevating the room, raising the tide, understanding what we will do is control what we can control, which is a lot. We're going to control that. We're going to lock in. We're going to hold each other accountable. We're gonna all choose to be great, and we're gonna make sure we pass down the study guide to the younger generation. Ain't no reason for them to be lost and to be looking for the answers and to be wondering what's gonna be on the test. We've already given 60, 70 years. Let's pass down some information, vital information, that like confidence, like perseverance, like what it takes to be a man, how to stand in adversity, how to lead. These are things we still need them. They still stand true to this day. So it's very important that these things are passed down generation after generation. And I don't want to see us we're losing some of that with these things, this propaganda, et cetera, et cetera. So getting back to the main principles, and like we said, when the truth is in the room, when men are in the room, the propaganda and the politics just can't stand it.
I love that. I love that. And I think the last bit of comments speak to exactly what you're saying. Steve wrote, peace, love, and soul. Appreciate you all, one love. And Quee said, pass the baton. Let's pass that ladder down. So on that note, we'll see y'all tomorrow. Yo, tomorrow is Friday already. That's crazy.
Damn. So we got 3 weeks left in here.
Yeah. What y'all gonna do with it? BK told y'all yesterday, huh?
I was gonna say we're doing a New Year's special.
New Year's special. Oh, we should do a countdown show.
Like a little. We could do a midnight joint. We could do a.
You're gonna have to come to Miami or Jersey.
Okay, I'm with it.
We'll do something. Yeah, let's figure that out.
Okay, yeah.
Let's figure that out. All right, man. We'll talk to y'all tomorrow, 8 a.m. Ew.